Israel withdraws from the UN Human Rights Council, a bold stand against bias. Israel's decision to withdraw from the UN Human Rights Council has shocked political circles. This dramatic exit mirrors the earlier move by the United States under Donald Trump. At the core of this controversial decision is Israel's claim of a persistent and politically motivated bias against the nation. The Council has been accused of disproportionately targeting Israel while failing to address severe human rights abuses in authoritarian regimes. By choosing this bold departure, Israel is sending a strong message against these perceived double standards. The history of tension between Israel and the UN Human Rights Council spans many years. The Council has reportedly issued the majority of its resolutions against Israel, drawing accusations of bias. For Israel, this imbalance undermines the Council's credibility and compromises its role in protecting global human rights. Rather than addressing pressing concerns like violations in unstable regions, Israel believes the Council uses human rights as a weapon to single it out. This narrative resonates with the US's earlier concerns, leading to a shared sense of disillusionment with the institution. Israel's withdrawal aligns it with the US, which made a similar move in 2018. Both nations consider the Council ineffective, overly politicized, and in need of reform. Israel emphasizes this partnership with the US as a united push for justice and balanced international diplomacy. The US's departure was a significant political gesture, sparking debate across the globe. By joining the same path, Israel signals its intention to seek alternative strategies for addressing its human rights record without reliance on a council it views as unsalvageable. Israel's foreign minister has not minced words in describing the council's inaction against undemocratic regimes. He has framed this withdrawal as a defense of Israel's rights as a sovereign state. To its leaders, Israel, as a democracy, cannot stand idle when subject to prejudiced scrutiny. This decision is not about avoiding accountability, they argue. It's about rejecting the misuse of human rights as a political tool and standing tall before international institutions that, in their view, fail to reflect democratic values. Israel's exit could set a precedent for other nations frustrated by the UN's current framework. The reaction to this event has sparked questions regarding the future of global accountability. If leading democracies question the Council's legitimacy, what might this signal for the international order? Scrutiny of the UN's effectiveness is not new, but these recent decisions call for radical reforms. Member nations must reflect on whether the institution can truly fulfill its mission amidst such growing discontent and criticism from powerful players like the US and Israel. Israel's withdrawal brings risks and opportunities. On one hand, it could isolate the nation from global discussions addressing human rights. On the other, it frees Israel to redefine its approach to criticizing and balancing international human rights norms. Through diplomatic channels, Israel aims to work with allies to reform or build alternative frameworks for raising legitimate concerns without fear of bias. The question remains, can the Council reform to restore its credibility? Critics have long accused it of selective justice rather than equality in holding nations accountable. Israel's departure should push the UN to reassess its practices and improve its capacity for fair international governance. The UN will need to address criticism to prevent similar exits by other nations. Ensuring fairness and impartiality will better protect its global mission and reinstate trust with democratic states. Israel's departure is making waves in the political world. It signals frustration, challenges norms, and calls attention to global accountability flaws. As history watches, the need for meaningful reform in international bodies has never been clearer. If you believe in justice and balanced diplomacy, share this message. Call for global reforms that ensure fairness, accountability, and inclusivity on the international stage. Together, let's champion a future where human rights truly transcend politics.